Hello everyone, welcome back to Kalam IAS Academy, and I am Rajesh Vats, a faculty at the Kalam IAS Academy, and I will be discussing the GS Paper 1 Indian Society part. Just now your paper has been completed of the GS Paper 1, right? और इंडियन सोसाइटी में क्या ट्रेंड रहा है, लास्ट ईयर से क्वेश्चंस कैसे आए हैं, एंड हाउ मेनी क्वेश्चंस वर देयर in the Indian society part. All these things will be discussed here, and also there will be at least one question will be discussed in this session. So please stay tuned. So this year the UPSC has followed the previous trend only, and 3 10-marker question has been asked and 3 15-marker question has been asked, and this is the common trend. 75 marks question has been there, 30 marks from the 10 marker and 45 marker from the 15 marker. So altogether this is up 75 marks, right? And if you see the last 4-5 years trend, then only 75 marks questions is being asked from the Indian society, and this is the easiest part in our GS paper 1 syllabus. इसका प्रिपरेशन में भी बहुत कम टाइम लगता है, but it will fetch you good marks if you prepare well, right? So what were the questions? Please read the question. After reading this question, you will feel that you can also solve this problem, or you can also solve these questions, right? Even if you have not read the Indian society. So this is so generic in nature, but remember, generic answer will not fetch you any marks in the, or generic answer will fetch you very little marks in the UPSC Mains paper. You need to write a specific answer. ये सारे questions generic दिख रहे हैं, but actually इसमें specific answers लिखने हैं. Okay, so let's see. So question number 1, it was of 10 marker of one. It had to be written in the 150 words. Near about 7 minutes you are getting for writing 10 marker, right? So it says that, do you think marriage as a sacrament is losing its value in the modern India? आजकल मैरिज का डिफिनेशन चेंज होता जा रहा है, लोग मैरिज काफी लेट से कर रहे हैं, लिव इन रिलेशनशिप वगैरह बहुत ज्यादा आते जा रहा है, राइट? सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट द अर्बन सिनेरियो एज वेल एज इन मेनी रूरल सिनेरियो, द मैरिज एज इज इंक्रीजिंग, राइट? So because of all this, UPSC has asked, means, do you think the marriage has sacrament in losing its value? क्या marriage अपना value lose करता जा रहा है in modern times? You have to answer this in 150 words. Second question, it is also of the 10 marker. Explain why suicide among the young women is increasing in Indian society. Very simple question. क्यों इंडियन सोसाइटी में सुसाइड एंड स्पेसिफिकली ऑफ द यंग वुमेन इज इंक्रीजिंग? व्हाई? बिकॉज लॉट्स ऑफ वर्क प्रेशर इज देयर, वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस इज नॉट हैपनिंग, राइट? फैमिली प्रेशर इज देयर, वर्क प्रेशर इज देयर, चिल्ड्रंस प्रेशर इज देयर, राइट? सो लॉट्स ऑफ प्रेशर इज देयर. You have to analyze all those factors that why such suicide is happening. Then child cuddling is now being replaced by mobile phones. Discuss its impact on the socialization of the children. आपने देखा होगा that बहुत सारे मम्मी क्या करती हैं, जब बच्चा रोता है तो उसको मोबाइल फोन पकड़ा दिया जाता है, so that the child will see some cartoon or something and it will stop crying, right? तो ये चीज किया जा रहा है, तो ये बहुत बड़ा इशू है. द चाइल्ड नीड टू सोशलाइज. चाइल्ड को कडल करने की जरूरत है, ना कि उसको मोबाइल फोन पकड़ाने की जरूरत है, राइट? आवर फास्ट मूविंग सोसाइटी इज चेंजिंग वेरी फास्ट. ठीक है, हम लोग टेक्नोलॉजी पे बहुत ज्यादा डिपेंडेंट हो रहे हैं. चाइल्ड केयर में भी टेक्नोलॉजी पे डिपेंड होना बहुत बड़ी गलती है हमारी, राइट? सो दिस क्वेश्चन इज देयर. So you will have to discuss what are the impact on the socialization of the children, plus you will also have to give some solution to this, right? Then the question number 4, does urbanization led to more segregation and or marginalization of the poor in the Indian metropolis. मीन्स क्या अर्बनाइजेशन से और ज्यादा सेग्रीगेशन हो रहा है, और ज्यादा मार्जिनलाइजेशन हो रहा है, पुअर्स जो है वो और ज्यादा पुअर होते जा रहे हैं, इनइक्वलिटी और ज्यादा बढ़ते जा रहा है? क्या ये बात सही है, क्या ये बात गलत है? राइट, व्हाट डू यू थिंक? राइट, दैट नीड टू बी आंसर्ड हियर. वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन, राइट? So this can also be tackled. It was need to be written in the 15 mark and it was need to be written in the 250 words, right? Then the very favorite question of the UPSC, caste identity diversity, इस सब पे हर एक साल क्वेश्चन होता ही होता है, right? So why caste identity in India both fluid and static? कास्ट आइडेंटिटी जो है दोनों फ्लूइड है, मीन्स इट इज नॉट, इट इज इनफ्लेक्सिबल, राइट, प्लस इट इज फ्लेक्सिबल, मीन्स इट इज बोथ स्टैटिक as well as it is dynamic, right? So how caste identity is both static as well as dynamic, that you need to answer in this question. जैसे कास्ट डाइल्यूशन होता जा रहा है, अर्बन एरिया में आप देखोगे तो कास्ट डाइल्यूशन होता जा रहा है, राइट? मेट्रो, क्या आप जब भी मेट्रो में चढ़ते हो तो क्या किसी से पूछते हो कि व्हाट इज योर कास्ट? यू डू नॉट आस्क. रोड साइड चलते हुए छोला भटूरा वाले से आप क्या पूछते हो कि उसका क्या कास्ट है, तभी आप खाना खाओगे उसके यहाँ? नहीं पूछते, राइट? सो कास्ट सिस्टम इज डाइल्यूटिंग, बट इन रूरल एरियाज द कास्ट इज स्टिल रिजिड. In many areas untouchability is still being practiced. So all these things need to be written here, right? Then the question number 6. Question number 6 is discuss the impact of post-liberal economy on ethnic identity and communalism. So communalism is a topic written in your syllabus and it is directly from there. One word is that post-liberal economy. So mostly it will be favoring after 1980s, 1990s, means how this economic changes which is happening, how this is impacting the communalism in our country, right? जैसे इकोनॉमिक चेंजेस के कारण क्या हो रहा है, बहुत ज़्यादा अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ती जाती है, और अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट जब ज़्यादा बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ता है तो कम्युनलिज्म और ज़्यादा बढ़ता जाता है, राइट? सो ऑल दीज फैक्टर्स नीड टू बी टेकन केयर इन क्वेश्चन नंबर 6. ठीक है, अगर आप ट्रेंड को देखोगे तो जस्ट लाइक आई हैड सेड दैट इट हैज, इंडिया हैज, दिस यूपीएससी हैज फॉलोड दिस ट्रेंड ओनली. मींस इस बार भी 6 क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए हैं इन फ्रॉम द इंडियन सोसाइटी एंड इट वाज अप द 75 मार्क्स, राइट? एंड दिस इज द ट्रेंड सिंस 2019 itself. मींस constant it is asking 75 marks from the Indian society part and it is of 6 questions, right? Earlier there was that sometimes 90 marks question was also asked, sometimes 40-50 marks question was also there, but since last 4-5 years this trend is constant in nature, that near about 65 to 75 marks, or more specifically 75 marks question has been asked from the Indian society, and this is one of the low hanging fruits which you should be targeting, right? If you compare the paper with the 2022 paper, then just by reading the question you will understand that 2022 paper was more tougher inside, right? और इस बार का पेपर थोड़ा सा easier साइड में है. If you look at the statement also, the statements of the question तो वो भी easy to understand, right? So you can see these questions, these has been asked in the 2022 and you can see from here that 2022 वाले पेपर से relatively easier side है Indian society वाला part, right? So that is there. Then these are the syllabus of your Indian society part, and if you are new to this UPSC preparation, then you should understand that all these syllabus and each and every keyword of the syllabus need to be prepared thoroughly. और बहुत सारा क्वेश्चंस तो सिलेबस से आ जाता है. और फर्स्ट टॉपिक जो है salient feature of Indian society, diversity of India. So this part is most favorite part of the UPSC. यहाँ से सबसे ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन बनते हैं. Then role of women, you had seen that role of women has been there. Population and associated issue, poverty and development issue. From this part also questions coming. Urbanization, इस बार भी क्वेश्चंस आया है. Effect of globalization on Indian society. Then social empowerment, communalism, regionalism and secularism. Communalism से क्वेश्चन आया है, regionalism, secularism से इस बार क्वेश्चन नहीं आया. It was very much expected also. Right. So if you are thorough with your syllabus and if you have prepared each and every word of the syllabus properly with your basic concepts, right, then you would not face any problem in the Indian society part for the GS paper 1. तो क्या होना चाहिए आपका approach? What should be your workflow? How you should prepare for the Indian society part? So by looking at the question of 2023, you would understand that you cannot just focus on the static or the dynamic things. You will have to prepare each and every word of the syllabus in both static as well as the dynamic form. For example, communalism. You should be knowing what the meaning of the communalism is. Plus, you should also be knowing its implementation in the present context. Right. Similarly, urbanization. You should be knowing what is the urbanization and how urbanization is increasing in the India and what has been the problem associated with it. Right. So, with the static part, you will also have to handle the dynamic nature of the syllabus. Right. So, that is there. Plus, the best guide for the UPSC preparation is obviously previous year questions. Current questions in 2023 also, which it has been asked, you can see that it is repetition of one or another question from the past years papers. Right. वुमेन इशू पहले भी पूछा गया है, इस बार भी पूछा गया है. थोड़ा सा स्पेसिफिक, अब देखो एग्जैक्टली सेम क्वेश्चंस तो नहीं पूछ सकती ना यूपीएससी, थोड़ा सा स्पेसिफिक तो होना ही पड़ता है यूपीएससी को. बट ओवरऑल you can prepare this paper in less time and less effort and you can get good marks over here, right. So please prepare each and every part of the syllabus thoroughly. और इसमें thoroughly का मतलब है कि static plus dynamic दोनों पार्ट को आप प्लीज कवर करें. So those who want to see that how the questions need to be attempted, right. So we can see one question, we can discuss one question, and from this you will get the idea that how you have to approach the paper, how you have to approach the question, right, and what should be coming in your mind for solving the question or to crack the question, right. So that is there. So one question, first is this question was there. We will discuss this question. Does urbanization lead to more segregation and or marginalization of the poor in Indian metropolis, right. So Indian metropolis के बारे में पूछ रहा है, वर्ल्ड मेट्रोपोलिसन के बारे में नहीं पूछ रहा, right. How many parts will be there in the question? The question will have it. Question asks, does it happens? क्या ये हो रहा है? What do you think? Whether it is happening. So you can discuss. One part will be that yes, the urbanization is leading to more segregation and marginalization. So that part will be there. Along with that, another thing will be coming. If marginalization and segregation is happening because of the urbanization, then why it is happening? Why part? ठीक है. First part is yes. Third part, does it happen? Does it happen? This is a does it happen regularly? क्या अर्बनाइजेशन से मार्जिनलाइजेशन कम नहीं हुआ है, सेग्रीगेशन कम नहीं हुआ है? ठीक है, जैसे कास्ट सिस्टम ये तो डाइल्यूट होता जा रहा है, राइट. इनकम लोगों के पास ज्यादा आते जा रहे हैं बिकॉज ऑफ अर्बनाइजेशन. सो इट समहाउ it is decreasing the segregation as well as the marginalization also. So you will have to write this part also, that no marginalization and segregation is not happening that much which it was happening earlier. So that part can also be covered, plus you should give a way forward also. So this will be the 4 parts which you should be covering in your answer, and it will make your answer exhaustive in nature. And please make sure that when you are writing the answer, you should write multi-dimensional aspects. Only then your answer will be complete, and only then you will be getting very good marks in this question. Right, so let's see. In any question you will have to write introduction, main body as well as the conclusion. That is must be clear to everyone, right? In every question you will have to write introduction, main body and conclusion. What we will be writing where? So we will discuss here. तो ये चीजें हैं. What can you write in the introduction? The introduction you can write, it is directly talking about urbanization, right? So in the introduction you can talk about the census 2011, because this is the most reliable data you are having when urbanization is concerned, right? And as per census 2011, the India has 31.16% of the total population as urban population, right? And recently the Niti Aayog report has stated that 8.81% of the urban areas population, they are living below poverty line, right? And if some person is living below poverty line, don't you think there is segregation? Don't you think there is marginalization? Because in the same urban area there must be several billionaires, right? So that is what segregation and marginalization. So you can introduce like this. According to census 2011, India's 31.16% of the total population reside in urban areas. As per the Niti Aayog report, 8.81% of the urban areas living below poverty line in the India. And then you will link the question. Here. Urbanization has led to segregation and marginalization of the poor in Indian metropolis. So you will link this question along with the data. So now your introduction has become very specific to the question, and it is directly handling the question, right? Then the first part. In the first part, you can write why urbanization has led to more segregation and marginalization. ठीक है? What are the causes? This is a proven fact, right? कि marginalization and segregation हो रहा है because बहुत ज़्यादा inequality है. कैसे है वो भी हम लोग next part में handle करेंगे. But why it is happening? Why there is so much marginalization and segregation in the urban area, right? So what can you write? You can write that there is rising land price, and when the land price is rising, who can afford all these lands? Only the rich people, not the poor people. Poor people do not have enough money to buy the land. So land owning is segregated and marginalized, right? Some small section of the people is having larger portion of the land, so that is there. Then there is no affordable housing. Most of the these poor people in the urban area had to live in the slums. They are slum dwellers. Housing facility is not there, right? So that is there. Lack of basic services. If you go in the slum areas, then there is no even facility of sanitation, pure drinking water, right? So such transportation system, so such facilities are not there. So how will they be living a good life with high standard of living? Is it possible? No, it is not possible. So wouldn't it contribute to the segregation and marginalization? yes, it would contribute to the segregation and the marginalization. Then transportation and barriers are there. बहुत बार क्या होता है ना कि स्लम एरियाज को मीन्स बहुत ही साइड एरिया में बनाया जाता है, वहां से डेली ट्रांसपोर्ट करना है, राइट, एंड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन सर्विस इज नॉट दैट गुड इन मेनी अर्बन एरियाज, so that is there. Then discrimination and stigmatization, still urban areas has lost lots of discrimination and stigmatization, rich versus poor, right, so that discrimination is huge in the urban area. Then income inequality, wouldn't income inequality is leading to the marginalization and segregation, because ultimately what is considered, who is poor, who is rich, that is being considered, right. So basis, on the basis of income, the society is divided, the urban society is being divided, right. So income inequality is leading to the more segregation and marginalization. Then environmental hazards, whenever you will heard that there has been some bomb blast, whenever you will heard that there has been some mishappening in some this industry or factory, then you will see that lots of poor people has died there, ठीक है, और poor people died means उसका family बर्बाद है ना. तो environmental hazard से सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम होता है poor people को, right. Then educational disparity is there. The children of rich people, they are reading in international schools, right, and in the international schools they can compete means wherever they want, they are getting the excellent quality of education. But the poor people who are living in the urban areas, their children are not getting basic education, right. Whatever the education they are getting, that is not adequate and that is not good quality education, right. So educational disparity is there, and when if educational disparity will be there, then ultimately their children will be doing manual jobs when they will be adult. So again it will be a feedback mechanism for the income inequality, for the poverty, for the further marginalization and further segregation, है ना. तो ये चीज है. Then how urbanization had led to more segregation and marginalization of the poor in the Indian metropolis. So you can suggest your argument with some data and facts. Look, if you write your answer in generic manner, then you will not get enough marks, right, because all the toppers copy, if you will see, they are using lots of data, lots of fact to substantiate their answer, to validate the arguments they are putting, right. Therefore what can be the data? The slum dwellers in the Indian metropolis, right. There are 743 cities which constitute 18.5% of the total urban population of the states and union territories. So 18.5% of the urban population are slum dwellers, and obviously this section will be marginalized and this section will be segregated. They will not get all the welfare services provided by the state. Then there is lack of education. We had talked about the education. Then how will you validate your argument that there is lack of education? 37% of the poor rural students are not studying at all, right. This is urban, are not studying at all. Then unemployment, according to NSO data, India's urban unemployment rate was 6.8% in the quarter ending March 2023, right. So 6.8% is the unemployment, and if a person is unemployed, would that person be able to give enough facility to their children, to their family? No, obviously not. So ultimately what will be happen? They will be marginalized or they will be segregated, है ना, यही होता है. Then poor health condition. 26% of the urban population has even worse health and nutrition outcome. ठीक है, प्रॉपर न्यूट्रिशन नहीं मिलता इनको, एंड प्रॉपर न्यूट्रिशन नहीं मिलने से चाइल्ड माल नोरिश्ड होते हैं, स्टंटिंग होता है, वेस्टिंग होता है, राइट. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स हैपेंस, एंड दिस because of all this more segregation happening in the Indian urban areas, right. So all these things are happening. Then you will also have the other part. देखो क्वेश्चंस है 15 मार्कर का, 15 मार्कर का क्वेश्चन है, और यहाँ पे आपको ये वाला पार्ट भी लिखना पड़ेगा कि अर्बन एरिया से थोड़ा बहुत सेग्रीगेशन और मार्जिनलाइजेशन कम भी होता आया है, राइट. क्योंकि दिस इज ऑल्सो ट्रू, जितना मार्जिनलाइजेशन और सेग्रीगेशन रूरल एरियाज में होता है ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ कास्ट सिस्टम, that much is not happening in the urban area. There is more inclusiveness in the urban area on the basis means there is no such discrimination on the basis of caste. So what can be the factors? How will you prove that it does not lead to segregation? Because other parts will you also will have to write. There is less caste discrimination. अभी जैसे थोड़ी देर पहले दिया था एग्जांपल कि किसी स्ट्रीट वेंडर्स के पास वो मोमोज वाला है, छोला भटूरा वाला है, या कोई भी है, उससे जाके पूछते हो क्या आपकी जाति क्या है, पहले जाति बता दो तभी मैं आपके यहाँ खाना खाऊंगा. मेट्रो में चढ़ते हो, देन ये बसेस में चढ़ते हो, क्या किसी को पूछते हो कि आपका कास्ट क्या है? नहीं. लेकिन रूरल एरियाज में जाके देखो, आज के डेट में भी बहुत ज्यादा कास्ट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है, राइट. So such discrimination is evaporating in the urban areas. So means marginalization and segregation on the basis of caste is lessening, is reducing in the urban areas. Then social services relative to urban areas, the social services is better. It is not of excellent quality, but it is still better than the rural areas. Like if you take the metropolis like the Delhi, Bangalore, right. So here better health facility is there, ठीक है, better housing facility is there, relatively better is there, right. So this is reducing the marginalization. Role of civil society, the civil society NGOs which is focusing, first they focus on the urban areas because most of the time their work is in the urban areas, so they can easily focus on the urban areas, right. So because of the role this civil society and NGOs, this urban areas less migration and this less marginalization and less segregation is happening, ठीक है, ये आप लिख सकते हो. Then infrastructure development, obviously in the urban areas infrastructure development is better roads are there, better internet facility are there, right, better railway facility, metro facility, all these things are there, and obviously all these things will not be only available for the riches or the rich section, right, it will also be available for the marginalized section. तो ultimately marginalized section का जो है segregation कम होता है इससे, ठीक है ना. Then urban governance, better governance system is coming up, smart city, urban mission, right, Amrut mission, heritage city is being developed. So because of all this better urban governance is happening, ठीक है, urban local bodies is getting better and better every day, so urban governance is there. Then there are several government initiatives for the welfare of the marginalized section or for the welfare of the poorest of the poor section in the urban areas, right. अभी धारावी स्लम्स को हटाया जा रहा है इन द मुंबई में, right, and they will be getting housing for all, they will be getting gas cylinders, all these things will be provided to them, right. So there has been several government schemes like Ujjwala scheme, ठीक है, then sanitation campaigns, all these things are decreasing the segregation and marginalization of the poor in the urban area, in the Indian metropolis, in the Indian metropolis. ठीक है. So what can be the way forward? Way forward is required because segregation and marginalization is still there, though there has been some lessening of the segregation and marginalization. So how this segregation and marginalization can be reduced further? ठीक है, कैसे किया जा सकता है ये? So you can give some points like the social safety net should be there, health दो, education दो, कुछ pension दो, age old pensions, right? All these things should be there. Right to work should be ensured, right to food should be ensured, food security के through, right? So all these things safety net should be there, तभी तो marginalization reduce होगा. Below poverty line people को आप above poverty line में ला सकते हो, right? Then inclusive urban planning. Whenever you are planning, then at the planning level itself, you should be considering that there will be lots of poor people will be residing in the urban areas, right? तो उस वो पुअर पीपल के लिए हाउसिंग का फैसिलिटी कैसा कहाँ पे होगा, सैनिटेशन फैसिलिटी कैसे प्रोवाइड करेंगे, गुड ड्रिंकिंग वाटर, प्योर ड्रिंकिंग वाटर हाउ विल बी प्रोवाइडिंग, सीवेज फैसिलिटी कैसा होगा, राइट? सो प्लीज व्हाइल प्लानिंग इटसेल्फ प्लान फॉर देम आल्सो. बहुत सारा नया नया सिटीज बन रहा है, ठीक है, जैसे आंध्र प्रदेश में अमरावती बन रहा, न्यू रायपुर बना, Chandigarh is planned. So during the planning itself, do not just plan for the rich person, plan also for the poor section, plan also for those plumbers, sanitary workers, plan for them also, right? Then proper implementation should be there. Just for the name of a smart city mission, if you are not able to eradicate the poverty of the urban poor, then how this is smart? ठीक है, inclusive development should be there, and whatever the government schemes has been there, that should be properly implemented. Whatever the acts and policies you have regarding environment, regarding water pollution, regarding air pollution, right? So all these things should be properly implemented. Only then in the urban metropolis this segregation and marginalization will be reduced, right? Then citizen engagement should be there, citizen centric governance should be there, citizens participation should be there, right? प्लानिंग लेवल पे उनको इंक्लूड करो, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन लेवल पे उनको इंक्लूड करो, देन एजुकेशन लेवल पे इंक्लूड करो, सोशल ऑडिट करवाओ उनसे, राइट? एट एवरी लेवल देयर शुड बी द इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ सिटीजन्स एंड नॉट द रिच सिटीजन ओनली, पुअर सिटीजन ऑल्सो. What they really require, provide them that, right? So that is there. Then community awareness should be there. Most of the time what is happening, whatever the government schemes is there for India, the government plans and policies are there for the poor section, they do not even know that, right? So community awareness should be there. Also community awareness among the rich person, so that they should help the poor person. Only then this rich and poor inequality will be reducing. ठीक है, there will be better standard of living in all together in the urban areas, right? So this should be your way forward, that following all these things, this will lead to the reduction in the segregation and the marginalization of the metropolis, right? Then how can you conclude? ठीक है, अगर सेग्रीगेशन एंड मार्जिनलाइजेशन रिड्यूस करोगे तभी जाके आपका ये सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स अचीव हो पाएगा. सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल, नो पॉवर्टी, जीरो हंगर, गुड हेल्थ, ऑल दीज थिंग्स, क्लीन वाटर एंड सैनिटेशन, रिड्यूस इनइक्वालिटी, डिसेंट वर्क एंड इकोनॉमिक एनवायरनमेंट, अफोर्डेबल एंड क्लीन एनर्जी, सारा का सारा जितने भी सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स के टारगेट हैं, ठीक है, ऑल द गोल्स it can be achieved only if you are focusing on the poorer section more, right? तो आप कैसे कंक्लूड कर सकते हो दैट, देखो इंडिया का पॉपुलेशन जो अर्बन पॉपुलेशन है वो इंक्रीज करेगा. अभी का ये ट्रेंड है कि हर एक एक डिकेड में 3 to 4% population is shifting to the urban areas. So this is expected that by 2050 there will be near about 60% of the India's population who will be living in the urban areas, right? So you can write this, that it is expected that the 60% of the Indian population will be living in the cities by 2050. India need to adopt. Why? Therefore, India need to adopt inclusive development in urban areas to eliminate the segregation and marginalization. Because उनका welfare अगर नहीं होता है तो inequality बढ़ती जाएगी, segregation बढ़ता जाएगा, marginalization बढ़ता जाएगा और ये कभी खत्म नहीं होगा. It will become never ending, right? So that should be there. और आप जब ये इसको फोकस करोगे, then only you can achieve the sustainable development goals and the targets by 2030, right? So you can see that in this way you had to explain, in this way you had to write your answer. ठीक है, बाकी क्वेश्चंस का भी हम लोग डिस्कशन करेंगे इन फर्दर क्लासेस वेरी सुन, राइट? प्लीज स्टे ट्यून्ड. और अभी हमारे यहाँ पे दिस रिप्ले प्रोग्राम इज गोइंग ऑन. इन द रिप्ले प्रोग्राम you will feel the mains like heat, the heat which is faced by the mains writing people, exactly same you will be feeling in the Kalam Institute. If you have not this got the chance to write the mains in the UPSC, ठीक है, जिसका प्रीलिम्स नहीं क्लियर हुआ है उनके लिए ये रिप्ले प्रोग्राम कराया गया है कि जिस दिन जो पेपर होगा, जैसे कल ऐसे पेपर था तो आज कल ही ऐसे पेपर करवा दिया गया. आज जीएस पेपर 1 है, जीएस पेपर 2 है, तो आज ही जीएस पेपर 1 जीएस पेपर 2 करवा लिया जाएगा और कल जीएस पेपर 1 जीएस और जीएस पेपर 3 जीएस पेपर 4 करवाया जाएगा. एंड देयर विल बी कंप्लीट डिस्कशन फॉर ऑल द क्वेश्चंस. देयर विल बी फेस टू फेस इवैल्यूएशन, राइट? So all these things will be provided to the students at marginal cost. Then the further program that is there, that is Bootcamp is coming both for the prelims and mains. So if you are interested in this, please contact Kalam IAS Academy. This is from my side on the Indian society. So Indian society overall we had seen that the trend is same which is were there since last 3-4 years, and even the question level of question this year is slightly less than the last year questions. ठीक है, so please prepare well for the next year. Thank you very much.